Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the Spearheads of Death. This video is sponsored by the Game Bunker. More on that later. Spearheads of Death, what's new for the Nighthaunt and Flesheater Courts? So you guys know that I'm a massive fan of Spearhead. We've been having a ton of fun with it. It's a great way to onboard new players to Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And with the new Battletome coming for the two death factions, Nighthaunt and Flesheater Courts, we got two brand new Spearheads to accompany them. And one of the really cool things that Games Workshop has been doing of late is when they release a new Spearhead, they're not just removing the old one. So as the factions get their Battletome, not only do you have the old Spearhead, but then you have a new one as well. They're both still available for sale, and then they're both still available for play as well. So super cool. The Force of Death are mustering. Reinforcements approach for a vengeful Geist of the Nighthaunt and the Noble Knights of the Flesheater Courts. Alongside new Battletomes, new faction mechanics, and new heroes, they're also getting new Spearheads. These are armies in a box that can form the core of a larger force for Warhammer the Age of Sigmar, but they are also complete formations for use in Spearhead, with fresh and innovative mechanics. The Charnel Watch ride to meet trespassers on their borders, baffled by delusions and madness, just like when you play the full army. You'll be able to pick between delusions in the first battle round, while in subsequent battle rounds you'll be rolling a dice. On a 1 to 3, the mania will fracture and shift. On a 4+, you must stick with your existing belief. You'll have access to the delusions of Great Feast and the delusions of Nightly Host. The former has your goals drinking deep on the gore of the fallen, each unit recovering 1 health, with your Royal Beast Slayers able to return to D3 models. The latter has your various aberrant Gore Warden and his upstanding knights. Add 1 to their hit rolls in combat, and the charge roll was 8 or higher. So very cool. Definitely a big fan of the delusion mechanic. Definitely a big fan of the delusion mechanic being incorporated in, as that lines up with their actual lore. And it's always cool when something reflects how the lore is on the tabletop with its rules. So here we can see the battle trait and regiment ability. Delusion of a Nightly Host passive effect. While you believe this delusion, the unmodified charge roll for friendly hero and knight units is 8+. Add 1 to the hit rolls for combat attacks for the rest of the turn. And then we have the Delusion of the Sentinel passive effect. While you believe this delusion, add 1 to ward rolls for friendly units while each model in the unit is contesting an objective. As with every Spearhead, you have a choice of regiment abilities and enhancements, as well as 2 delusions. Do you go with the Delusion of the Hunter and add 1 to your wound rolls for combat attacks if you aren't contesting objectives? Or Delusion of the Sentinel, which adds 1 to the unit's ward rolls when its models are contesting an objective. Alright, so very cool, very nice mechanics, good box set. Definitely a big fan of that new Spearhead.
Now a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Bunker. Game Bunker carries a full range of Games Workshop products, including miniatures, terrain, paint tools, and more. Game Bunker offers 15% off MSRP for most Games Workshop products with the discount code WHMS. Receive free shipping in the continental United States on orders over $145. Online orders ship out within 24 hours. Game Bunker is a veteran-owned business. Use affiliate link below, enter discount code WHMS to save 15% on most items at checkout. For fast, friendly service with a discount on your favorite tabletop wargaming purchases, visit GameBunker.net and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you.
And then moving over to the Nighthaunt. Once again, we got a new box set. The Nighthaunt of the Cursed Shacklehorde are tasked with swelling the ranks of spirits for Lady Ellinder. The Spectral Procession will hold back 1 unit of 5 Bladeghast Revenants and 1 unit of 5 Dreadsith Harridans. So they're ready to make a cackling arrival from the second battle round onwards. They'll also receive the benefit of the Ethereal rule, ignoring negative modifiers to save rolls for friendly units. With regiment abilities, you can grant your Spearhead the ability to discorporate in any hero phase, adding 1 to their save rolls on a successful roll of a 2+. The Mounting Dread your forces exude obliges enemy units to subtract the number of the battle round from their control score while in combat. They will need to score a 2+ at the end of the turn to trigger the terror. So we have the battle trait, once per turn, army, your movement phase, cackling arrival. Declare, pick 1 of your units in reserve. Effect, set that unit up anywhere on the battlefield more than 6 from all enemy units. Okay, so that is a very powerful, deep strike, essentially, mechanic. You're coming in 6 away from enemy units anywhere on the table. Very, very strong, especially in Spearhead, where you have a limited amount of units to leave back sitting on your objectives. So oftentimes you can pop up in the enemy's backfield and steal an objective. Or alternatively, you drop in and then you have a 6-inch charge. And next we have the regiment ability, passive, discorporate. Declare, pick a friendly unit to be the target. Effect, roll a dice on a 2+, add 1 to the save rolls for that unit until the start of the next turn. So +1 save, always strong. While the Nighthaunt don't particularly have the best saves, they do have their ward save. And then against armies that don't have a bunch of rend, the +1 to the save roll can definitely pay off. Both Spearheads are available to pre-order on Saturday. Rules are found in their respective Battletomes, but they'll also be available to download for free shortly after release. Both will feel right at home in the Morbid Shaiish Sand and Bone box. Alright, so very cool. We got 2 really nice new Spearhead boxes, nice value in these boxes, and then also some nice rules to go along with them. Oftentimes the Spearheads will pair really nicely with the old Spearhead as well, or just a great way to start a new army with a limited number of models to build and paint. So if you want to try something a little bit different, experiment with a different faction before going all in, the Spearheads are a great way to do it. And then also all the Spearhead rules are free, and then Games Workshop releases all of the like individual Spearhead unit rules later on. So you don't need to spend a bunch of money on like your various books and stuff like that. You need a limited board space, a limited amount of terrain, a single Spearhead box, and you're not dropping a bunch of money on like rules and books. You're just jumping right into the hobby and then painting and playing. So very, very cool. Big fan of these Spearheads. Big fan of Spearhead in general. Looking forward to playing the new Sand and Bone Pack, as we have had a ton of fun with Gyran. We've been running a local escalation league. That's been a ton of fun. Slowly growing the community, and so far Spearhead and Age of Sigmar in general has been very well received. So let me know what factions you've been playing, if you've been enjoying Spearhead or Big Sig. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to the Game Bunker for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products with code WHMS at checkout. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.